For now, that's all the housekeeping, I would say.
We're everywhere. You can't escape us.
Oh, there's probably a good song there somewhere.
What?
Like Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, everywhere. Yeah, there is though, isn't there?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey everyone.
Hi guys.
Welcome back to another podcast.
Episode 2. What it do, baby?
30 kind of flirty with Britty
and Joeigh. Okay, now we're getting coffee. Episode 2.
And we're excited to be here because this one's kind of a fun one.
We are excited. Just before we start off, follow us on Instagram because we are now on Instagram.
Yes, it's
at
30 kind of flirty podcast.
It is. There it is.
Appropriate.
Give us a follow.
We're on all the socials, but I don't know who uses what anymore.
We're trying.
Like we're not on Facebook, but that's.
But who is?
That's what I mean. It does seem a little ridiculous, honestly. There's so many of them. But we also on Instagram specifically have like some links to other socials. We are on all platforms. Mm-hmm. And as we kind of get going, we'll update that. But for now, that's all the housekeeping I would say. How's your week going?
Good. Well, it's only Monday. But
how was your weekend going?
The weekend was good.
Yeah.
I went to my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say where, but I went to my hometown just in case.
In case one of our...
Like, this is episode 2. I don't want to get stalked already. I need to, like, let that, happen naturally.
Oh, my God.
No. I went to my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
A few of my friends that now live in BC were home because we were celebrating the wedding of one of my very good high school friends. She actually got married in BC in September of last year, but because of COVID and stuff, not a lot of people could get out there.
Right.
So then they were able to come home and have a celebration with her friends and stuff.
I love
and
that.
It was really sweet, too, because her mother had messaged us beforehand being like, we want to play like a melody of nice love songs, can be upbeat, can be slow, just any songs that are favorite or special to you, so please send us your list and like we'll have them playing.
Oh, I love that. So it was like sentimental.
Yeah, so like my friends, like one of them had asked for Wonderwall by Oasis because that was a special song for us in high school because when we were in grade 9 it was that year's grad song, so they always played it at
so
the grad
full
dances.
Circle.
So we were always like, we used to always play it and sing it. There's even one night where we went out onto the street corner and played it on New Year's just for fun.
Just singing?
So that was sentimental. And then another friend, I think, chose Perfect by Ed Sheeran because she said, that's the kind of song I want at my wedding. And then they said, Joey, what did you pick? I picked Ariana Grande because she's my queen.
Oh my God, which song?
Tattooed Heart.
Oh, that's your fave.
It is my fave.
Do you want to let them know what album it's on?
Yours truly. Track 4.
Ooh, track 4.
She recorded it while she had a very, very crazy lung and skull infection. And she...
Oh, what?
Like a lung infection that went up into her skull.
Oh my God.
Apparently. And she killed it, so...
What else is new?
Yeah. So what about you? How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Didn't do much. I didn't have anything exciting like yours. Thanks for calling me out.
No problem. No problem. So
yes, this episode.
Get into it. So the first episode was a bit of a heavier topic. We did ghosting, dating. Mm-hmm. So this time around I thought, let's lighten it up. Let's talk about some traveling mishaps.
Well, now that quarantine, we've been out of quarantine for a while, but now that COVID's kind of...
Well, this past summer
now.
We got a little bit of a break. So people were able to
now people are starting to travel, and so it got Joey and I thinking like what are our top destinations? Do you have any funny travel stories?
And I was thinking too, when we're thinking about social media and a lot of people we follow always traveling, and you look at their pictures and their posts, and of course it's the highlights. So it's like the perfect views and the perfect food, and they're looking hot and they're tanned and everything seems flawless.
Yeah, and that's not it at all.
When I travel, that's never the case, which you're all going to find out very shortly.
Yeah, I think Instagram, specifically Instagram, is really tough. Like, I was following a girl who I really like, and I don't know her Instagram off the top of my head, or I would put it on here. She's Canadian, but she actually like told told Instagram the other day that she actually does the vacation and then posts it later as if she's on vacation because she wants to enjoy the vacation.
Yeah. Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
sure a ton of people do that, but I never thought of it.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, when you go and you travel, I know for me, there is a part of me that I get very stressed about posting things to my story in the moment.
Yeah.
But it's like, you don't have to do that. And that kind of reminds me of like going to concerts and stuff too. Like, you're so concerned with getting the videos and getting the pictures. And the thing is, you don't look at that shit.
No.
I have like a ton of videos from concerts.
Oh my God.
I don't look at them. I go on YouTube.
And I remember being like at Joeigh, which is a music festival here in Canada, and it would be like plus a million degrees out. The last thing I want to do is put my phone up in the air trying to record a shitty video.
Just enjoy it.
And where there's going to be a million uploaded. So it's interesting from her perspective, because I was like, when she said, oh, I post it later, I was thinking like, okay, so everyone probably does that.
Mm-hmm.
So these things that you're seeing on Instagram might not even happen. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sure there's people out there that are taking old photos and being like, oh,
yeah,
a
lot of things are curated.
It's just something that I never thought to do.
So, I guess I'll start with a traveling story of my own.
Yeah, where'd you go?
A little mishap. This was in 2015. My boyfriend at the time, we went to Orlando because he was there for business, and then we tacked on a few days. I came up and we enjoyed, Disney World.
Florida.
And did the whole thing. But on the way back, because he was there for business, so his flights were booked separately than mine. So we didn't fly together.
Oh, do you like that? I guess
I don't
fine.
care. I like traveling alone, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
But so we said our goodbyes at the Orlando airport because I was flying out first. So I go into the airport.
Oh, God.
I'm going through security. That's fine. That's great. And then when you go through security, you have to walk a little bit and you have to go on a monorail. And the monorails, it's like a 10-minute drive and it takes you
Boston's like that.
all the way through to the gates. So I hop on the monorail. 2 minutes in that trip, I'm looking for my phone to shoot a text to my boyfriend, say, hey, like whatever. Can't find my phone.
Were you freaking out?
Searching my pockets. I'm searching my knapsack. I'm searching everything.
Yeah.
Knapsack? No, satchel.
Like all I could find was granola.
All I could find was some granola for my hike. But no, like I couldn't find it, and I'm freaking out. And then I got this image of taking my phone out of my bag, putting it in the security bin.
Oh my gosh.
And probably not picking it up. So here I am having to finish this 8-minute ride monorail in the opposite direction of where my phone is, panicking. And so I get through that little drive. I hop off, running in circles, getting back onto the other monorail to then do another 10-minute drive towards back to security. I get there and I'm looking, and there's this older man in like this booth. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe that's where Lost and Found is. Maybe someone put it there. I go up to him. I say, hey, I just left my phone. Has anyone returned anything? He says, no, I don't have anything, but you can go back and check at the security terminals. And he's pointing, and I'm looking at the terminals and I'm thinking, well, Lord Jesus, man, they all look the same. I don't know who's who. They don't smile at you. They all look the same.
They all look the same.
So one guy I recognized. So I went over to him, and they never want to talk to you. The security people.
Well, yeah, I feel like they're always
right?
like
they
accusatory.
They have to be intimidating. It's their
course,
job. So I'm
course.
like, oh my God.
And this is in the States too. Keep in mind. Yeah.
Friggin' gay boy just lost my phone. Like And Buddy's like, oh, no, I haven't seen anything.
Oh, my heart.
But then he called over a lady. We'll say her name was Sandra. She was sunny and smiley, Sandra.
Oh, Sandra.
And she was very polite. She was like, oh, my God, yes, let's see if we can find it. So we went through all the different security terminals asking. No one could find it.
Good thing you had time
no
for your
one saw
flight.
it. And I didn't know because I don't have my phone or a watch. I'm thinking, oh my God. Now, usually I do get there early enough, so I figured I probably would have time, but
you don't know.
What if I
wasn't
don't
even
get my
thinking
phone?
that. Yeah.
So we're going through, and then this one lady who's working in security just yells over across the way, "Are you looking for a phone?" And Sandra's like, "Yep."
Yeah.
Oh, does it have Katy Perry on it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Like, yeah, not a picture of my dog, not a picture of family. No, yeah, that's me, Katy Perry on it. So she's like, oh, well, we brought it over to that gentleman in the booth. Oh, you mean the gentleman in the booth where I was just at 5 minutes ago?
So he just didn't wasn't listening
I
to you?
guess he didn't know. So we walked back over to the booth. where
So he could have
Sandra
saved you that whole time.
explained,
Yeah.
you know, this young gentleman lost his phone. Oh, well, maybe here's a key to the cabinet.
Okay.
We walked across the way to the cabinet,
Yeah.
opened it up. We're looking through. There's my phone.
That gives me anxiety.
Grab my phone. Thanks, Sandra. Book it. Back to the monorail. Drive over and get onto my flight.
Shout out to Sandra.
Love you, Sandra. Peace.
Wow, that would be really scary because you're in a different country. Your boarding pass, everything is on. See, and that's how I
Have no way to communicate with anyone.
Yeah, and now that you're saying it, I think the next trip that I do take, maybe I'll print everything out because, like, what if that does happen?
Yeah,
like, legit,
it can happen easily. And I remember when I found it, one of the security guys, maybe it was Sandra, had said, oh, like, you know, when you go through the terminal, you don't have to put your phone. You don't have to, because I took it out of my bag to set it out thinking I had to. But she's like, no, you can just leave it in your bag. It'll just go through. So now that's what I do.
And that's what you do.
But at the time, I just didn't think and left it.
Which honestly, it doesn't surprise me.
I know. We'll have some other stories in the future, I'm sure, about how I've lost my phone.
But that is super stressful.
But yes,
that is really stressful. I don't know if I would say that's just a story.
That's just it's just
in retrospect, I think it'd be kind of funny because it's like goes with your personality.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, like,
wait, what do you mean? What's my personality?
Oh, you know, just bumbling around. I think that would be stressful.
Yeah. Okay. Brittany, do you have
anything? When we were talking about this episode, Joey was like, "Oh, like let's, you know, think about some travel stories that we can incorporate." And I honestly don't have any funny travel stories.
Anything ironic?
When we were recording this story or this podcast, I was saying to Joey, like, I don't have any like funny stories, but I have like, I guess, would it say it's an ironic story?
Ironic.
I don't know. So I cruise a lot. I like to cruise.
You're ready, folks.
You get to go to different locations. So cruising is nice because it's, well, you know, it's easy. Little plug for cruising.
I've never been cruising.
Oh, it's great. It's great fun.
Okay. Good to know.
10 out of 10 would recommend. So anyways, there was a bird on my balcony. And that sounds really dirty, but it's not.
Oh, what kind of bird? Yeah, I guess we should clarify. Oh, wow. Never been with one of those before.
And, I mean, he was there a long time. But like we were in the middle of nowhere, and out of all the balconies that he could have landed on, who did he land on?
Yours.
Mine.
He liked what he saw.
He did.
So maybe not a mishaps story, but any traveling, like any kind of stories that of like one of your best traveling stories, something that happened that's just something you really took away.
No. No, like
okay.
I'm like the best traveler. Like I can travel on my own. I'm super, I would say, adventurous. I don't, I'm not afraid of anything. I would go traveling without any plans really and book as I go. What would you call that? I'm just very easygoing when it comes to traveling. Yeah. But that being said, I'm fairly organized. Yeah. So no, I don't really have
you just
mishaps or
you just keep it all together.
I keep it all
cool
together.
Cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, I drink. That's it. That's what you do.
Chill. Keep it chill.
I don't. Now, I will say, like, you have to remember, though, that I find cruising especially is already planned for you.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not like you're, like, going off on resorts. And, like, I'm pretty sure one of my good friends could tell some pretty wild stories about Jamaica and going off the resort and stuff.
Too bad they weren't here, though, eh?
Like, you know what I mean? Like, my stories can only get so wild because I'm on a cruise ship. Where else am I going to go? I actually have never been to a resort. I've been to resorts in, like, you know, Florida, like hotels, that kind of thing, but never, like, down south to a resort. So, yeah, my stories are very limited.
Okay. Well, I can say another one.
Yeah, go for it.
This one's probably a little bit longer, but very, very fucked up. And it was, I shouldn't say fucked up. It was a great trip. It was about 2 or 3 years ago, and my stepsister got married in Mexico. So we all went. And this is my first time going down south, like out of North America, going onto a resort. First time ever. So first of all, you know, we're waiting at the airport here, and there's a 4-hour delay. No big deal. I mean, could it be a bad omen? No, of course not. Maybe. So we go through this 4-hour delay, and the plan was that we'd fly there. There'd be a car or a vehicle to pick us all up, to take us to a hotel that was booked for us. It was all part of the trip plan that my stepsister did. to take us to a hotel for the night, bring us back to the airport the next morning, to then fly to Mexico. But because we were so delayed by 4 hours, and then when we got to the Pearson Airport, which is a huge airport in Toronto, didn't know where the fuck we were going.
Well,
we were walking all over the place in circles for probably another extra hour. It's probably like, it was like way after 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. So a few of us just said, fuck it, we're just going to sleep here in the airport.
Yeah.
So we just camped in the airport, no biggie, made it through. We flew off, made it to Mexico. That was fine. And like the trip in Mexico itself was perfect, right? Great weather, later at the pool, had lots of drinks. The wedding was beautiful. It was great.
Yep. We're in Mexico.
Cancun.
Ooh.
I don't know. I can't remember the name of the resort, or else I would plug it. But it was a very, very.
We've been really utilizing that word this podcast.
It was a very,
plug.
very.
It's such an ugly word too.
Beautiful.
Plug it.
A very beautiful resort. There was one moment though, like during the wedding, because I don't know, anyone who knows me might know that I'm a little bit clumsy here and there. And, you know, for the wedding, I bought a nice new white linen, like short sleeve button shirt.
God.
I had a nice pair of like beige khaki shorts, right? I was looking good.
Classic Mexico attire.
Right. I didn't, you know, I wanted to dress for the weather, but also look good.
Of course.
And no joke, me and my sister were getting drinks and walked back over, and I knocked the whole fucking table of drinks down. All over me, all over my khaki shorts, all over my sister, all over my stepfather, because he had just laid his like blazer there that he had rented, all over his blazer, just all over. So there I am, like with, you know, sticky margarita
and it's like
mix
hot.
on my shorts.
Yeah.
And so my stepbrother's wife, who was sitting beside me, said, "Oh, take some soda water, club soda, and put it on your shorts. That'll take the stain out." I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. So I'm literally pouring it down, because I'm thinking, we're sitting at this long table. I'm not getting up. It will dry. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I'm pouring it all over my crotch where the stain is. As soon as I do that, the announcement, all right, we want everyone to get up and get to the dance floor and have a dance with the bride. So there we all get up. Joey looking like he pissed himself.
Oh my God.
Just dancing on the floor. Everyone's like, what happened to you?
And that would be super uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
Oh my
so
gosh.
so that happened.
Yep.
The rest of the trip was fine. We're getting ready to fly back to Canada.
Yeah.
The flight was fine. The flight was fine. We land into Toronto. And I think like where the plane was supposed to line up to the gate, there must have been a plane that was already there delayed. So we had to wait. So we were waiting on the plane probably an hour.
Like on the tarmac.
Just sitting there. Yeah. Which is really gross. You don't like that. Especially after traveling
and that
so much.
Airflow is
really
and
bad.
Yeah.
Finally, though, we get off, and I remember saying to my brother, we haven't been in Canada for 2 weeks, because we were there for a long trip, 1.5 weeks. All I want is an ice cap. That's all I want.
What happened,
true Canadian ice cap. We find the ice cap.
we find the ice cap.
We find the Tim Hortons in the airport.
Yeah.
There's like 20 people ahead of us in line. Like, I don't care. I'm waiting for this ice cap.
Of course.
So like 40 minutes
Was
in
their
line.
machine broken when you got there?
Well, we got there. The guy ahead of me got a nice ice cap, and I'm just watching him put the straw in and slurp it up. I'm thinking, I'm going to
probably
get you.
a plastic straw, not a paper straw either.
It was plastic back
Oof.
then. Yeah, back in the day. And I get up there. I'm like, I want a medium ice cap, please. Do. Brings it in, pay for it. She goes to make it. Something's going on, though. They're like looking at the machine. Something's not working.
Call over Sandra.
She can call Sandra. Call over Sandra. She can't fix it. The machine just magically broke right after that guy got the ice cap.
Of course, yeah, because you were up.
And I couldn't get my ice cap.
So would you say that? No problem.
No problem. And then the girl said, or no, I asked her, well, is there a Starbucks in here? Oh, yes, there's a Starbucks. Just walk down this
Terminal
way.
3.
We walked all the way long hallway.
Yeah.
And I see the Starbucks sign. I'm thinking, fuck, at least I can get something.
Yeah.
The closer we get to that Starbucks, the more of the sign I'm seeing. And I'm starting to see Starbucks closed, under construction or something. Yeah, it's closed up. Can't get anything there. Whatever. We had to walk all the way in the opposite direction, all the way back to get to our gate. Finally, we just sit down, and the guy on the announcement says, oh, your gate has been moved. Where has it been moved to? Right where the Starbucks was. Where we just came from.
You just came from there.
So now we're walking all the way back
and that's
over
a big airport too.
to the Starbucks.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're tired. You
We're
don't
tired.
have your ice cap.
I'm cranky.
Yeah.
You don't want Joey when he's cranky.
No, you don't.
So we're waiting there. That's fine. We finally get on the flight. The flight gets us home. I don't see my luggage. I don't see my luggage at all. It's just not there. And then they say, oh, well, some of the luggage from this flight was put onto a second plane.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That plane has been delayed by a couple hours.
Oh.
So it's going to get here sometime overnight. You can stay if you want, or you can take a ticket and come back the next day for your luggage. And I'm like, you know what? It's like 2 a.m. I work the next day. I'll come back for it. That's fine. We go out to get a taxi because my family don't live in the city. So they were going to stay at the Holiday Inn, which is close to the airport.
Yep.
Thinking, great, we'll get a taxi. He'll take you to the airport and then he'll take me home.
Yep.
That's fine. So we get a taxi. My stepfather's putting their luggage in the trunk. He tells them we're going to the Holiday Inn. And then I speak up and say, oh, and I'm going into the city. You can take me when you drop them off. The taxi driver says to me, oh, no, I can't do that. I can't do 2 trips in one go. I looked at him, no joke, and I said, listen, buddy. And I went through the whole trip, everything that happened, and I said, I don't give a rat's ass. You're taking me home. I opened the passenger door. I sat in, and I slammed it shut.
Oh, little Sex in the City moment.
And I just waited for him to get into the car and take me home.
And take you home.
And then he did. So once he dropped my family off, and it's like a 20-minute drive back to where my apartment was, I said, I'm so sorry. It's just been a long day.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I haven't gotten my ice cap. I'm so sorry.
Do you mind swinging through the
Do
drive-thru?
you mind just swinging on through? I'll buy you one. But then I finally got home. But it's one of those things where at the time it was so annoying.
Yeah.
But then you look back on it and you laugh. And I remember making a post after it happened, but everything that we went through. And a lot of the people that had been on the trip said, you know what? Yeah, Joey, it was a little fucked up, but the memories, man,
Oh, yeah, and that's the kind of stuff that you always think about, right?
Yeah.
I don't have any funny travel stories or bad travel stories. I would say I have stories where I go to visit my girlfriends in other provinces or other cities. And one time my best friend Steph, she was living in a new place.
Your best friend?
One of my best friends, Steph,
interesting.
was living in
Is
a
she
place.
On this podcast with you?
Was living in a place, and I had never been there before, so I was going to visit her, and I was living an hour away or whatever. So she's like, "Yeah, come in. I'm at this address. Doors open. Come on in."
Oh no.
Yeah. So I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." I didn't bother texting her because we're that close that it's not a big deal. I would just walk in. It's nothing. No, she messed up her address.
Oh no. How do you mess up your address?
Because she had just moved there. Oh. So I'm walking into someone's house that isn't her, and there's a family of 4 having dinner in the dining room.
Oh no.
So I walked in, lock your door. Lock your door. So I walked in, and this guy was tall, and he didn't look super happy that I was there. And he was just like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "No, actually, I'm good."
I'm gonna head.
And so I popped out of there, gave it Steph a very angry text, and she was like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I'm number 8 or something." And I'm just like, "Oh yeah, that's okay."
No problem.
She didn't say sorry. She didn't care.
No.
So that's kind of a bad story that happened to me.
Yeah, that's funny though.
Again, not really travel. I guess kind of travel related, but I would say traveling internationally. My biggest tip for all of you listeners out there would be Nexus. Do you have Nexus?
I know what that is.
It's just a pass that you can get through the U.S. government that allows you to just travel freely with marine, air, and all that kind of stuff, and it will save you a ton of time. So if mishaps happen, you at least have time going through security and stuff like that. So yeah. Obviously, the last couple years have made me super grateful for traveling. And now I have all of these ideas where I want to go. And before, pre-COVID, I was pretty set on the Caribbean because it's the warm weather, Florida. We usually do the cruise and then a week in Miami or something. But now I'm wanting to go to Europe for take 3 weeks and go to Europe. Honestly, in search of... I don't know.
Harry Potter?
I'm going to say some hotties.
Some hotties?
Harry Potter. I mean, I was going to say some, where are the men? Where is the hottest?
Where are the men
Where would you say,
The hottest men? Oof. I mean, there is some hotties on Coronation Street, so the UK would be a good place to go.
Do you think? I would say that's my least.
But
Spain?
I'm thinking Spain, like some Latin men, salsa-ing, moving
European,
their hips,
though?
you know?
I don't know. And it's so funny because, like, when I'm on vacation, I don't usually... Like, have you ever had any hookup stories? Do you have any hookup stories? I don't have any hookup stories.
I have hookup stories. I don't know if I have any for traveling.
On vacation?
Because when a lot of my trips and traveling, I was with someone. Although I do have a funny... Oh, I can tell you a funny story.
Okay.
Oh my God, should I though? Because family might be listening. Anyway, whatever.
If you're listening,
If you're listening,
family, turn off now.
Tune out. Thank
Tune
you.
out. Mute it.
Oh, and my friends that were on the trip with me will get a kick out of this too. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go.
We're diving in.
Me and my friends a couple years ago.
Oh, you have friends? Do they have a podcast with you?
Not with me. They do have their own podcast, which I could plug.
Oh, there's that word again.
Maybe someday we will.
Okay.
No, but we went on a trip to New York City a couple years in a row. Mm-hmm. And the last year we went, my boyfriend came with us. Mm-hmm. How it worked was it was part of this company where we paid a lump sum, and that covered the bus ride there as well as the hotel stay, and then we just did whatever we wanted in the city.
Whatever the fuck
there.
we want. That's what you were going to say.
Wanted. Wait, why did I censor myself? Oh my God. So anyway, I don't know if it was the way there or the way back.
What'd you do?
But my boyfriend and I were on the bus, and he was feeling randy.
Oh, okay.
And there's no, I mean, we weren't going to go into a bathroom or anything. So, underneath.
Did you do it on the bus?
We didn't do it, but underneath our winter coats and jackets, he may or may not have gotten me off.
Okay. Welcome to New York.
So we were just,
Hey,
crossing that main border and feeling some type of
do.
way. Yeah. So, I mean, it's something we did. It's something that happened. You little slut.
New York state of mind.
Empire State of Mind, but okay.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. The song, anyway.
Okay.
Isn't it?
I'm thinking New York.
Empire. Empire.
I was thinking like New York State of Mind from like Sex and the City.
I think you're right.
Oh. All right.
So
we'll just breeze by that.
So you think, do you agree then? Sexiest man probably in Spain, probably in.
Now I'm thinking New York.
Oh, man in a briefcase.
Like, from that mini
Wall
project,
Street.
Adam Pally. Oh, he's hot.
Is that Peter?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is hot. I'm thinking like Wall Street, financial hedge fund.
See, we have different types of
But
guys,
here's the
don't
thing
we?
though, like. Because when I used to go to the gym downtown, right? All the businessmen go there, and you're in the locker room when they're stripping down, and they're.
See, Joey and I have very different tastes in men. I would say.
Yeah.
So I like. What'd you say? Let's describe each other's taste in men.
You like guys that just aren't attractive.
Okay.
I mean, I don't get it, but you just do. No, you like.
I like guys that just don't look like pretty boy. Mm-hmm. Like aren't clean cut.
But here's the thing. I do like pretty boys, but then I also like...
You do.
I think jocks are my thing.
Yeah.
Like boys in the gym.
I'm over jocks. I'm moving on.
I could tell a funny...
Any businessmen out there?
Jock story, but maybe that's good for another time.
Well, yeah. We'll get there.
It's like there's only so many stories you can tell,
We
Joe.
just take this travel podcast right to just the men every time.
Every time.
Yeah, I would say it depends on where you are. I think there's hot guys everywhere.
Mm-hmm. But I think, and also with accents, so like an Irish accent I think is really hot.
Now I'm just thinking of Below Deck, like the show.
Who's in Below Deck?
Oh, just like any of
like
them,
an
like
accent.
just they
Or
all
any
have
of them.
accents. Yeah, like they're all
oof.
good looking, and what makes them like over the top is their accent.
Yeah.
Although I don't like a New Zealand accent.
I don't like a France accent.
Ooh, I do.
Really?
Yeah, well, I like watch all that Formula One. Like I really, and there's some French boys. They're young,
I usually don't
but
go
they're
for
hot.
that kind of accent.
It depends on, like, it's funny. Like when I'm on vacation, I just want to have a good time, drink, swim, tan. I'm not really looking.
It would be
for boys,
but it would be fun though. Like if you were single and you were on a trip
with your
down
friends?
south, and you just happen to meet someone and have a little fling.
I would love
right?
that. Yeah, no
as long
strings
as
attached.
it's safe, as long as it's
for sure.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to get.
Then I'd have a story for this podcast.
You would.
I would.
Yeah, you
Hopefully it
would.
wouldn't be funny. Yeah, I think anywhere. I wouldn't say like the top hottest men in the world. Like I don't think that's. I think that's depends on where you are really. They're everywhere.
There's hot men everywhere.
There is, and
There's
we
a
will.
man
We
for
will
each
find
per-
you.
We will find you. We will travel.
Oh
We
my
got the air
God.
miles saved
We
up.
do. So okay. So my next question: top 3 destinations that you want to go to. Where are we going? Where are the men? So I 100% say Greece.
Okay.
Without a doubt,
Yeah.
I would love to go to Greece.
Yeah.
That's actually on my next to do.
Yeah.
Like Santorini.
Yeah.
That's so Instagrammable.
Yeah. It is. It is.
Not that I would do it after the trip so I can enjoy.
Where would I want?
You would probably do somewhere like in the UK, no?
Yeah, that's always been the dream. Yeah, was to go to England. I've always been
Ireland as well, or just England?
all of it. England would be number one, but
Okay.
yes, I think when I'm there, it'd be nice to do the England, Scotland,
Yeah.
Ireland.
Take a
the
photo
whole
in like a
thing.
phone booth.
Yeah, get into a castle, find me a knight.
Oof.
Oof, come through.
See, they're everywhere. Okay.
Call
so
me
the
a boy in the
UK.
stocks.
Oh, to the stocks.
The stocks. I don't know.
Had a ticket medieval. Anyway.
Give me some of that Black Plague, Daddy. Okay. But yeah, England.
England's a good one.
I
don't know, like I don't think I would ever just go to one country.
No, and you wouldn't have to. They're so close. A lot of the countries
or
there.
like the Nordic countries or something. I know a couple people, my friends,
Alaska.
like Alaska. I would love to do
Like-
Iceland, Reykjavik.
Yeah, do you like one of those cruises, Alaskan cruise or
I
something?
know, but I want to go like the heat. And that's the other thing too, is like if you're going to travel, like we both have full-time jobs, so you have like the allotted time off. Do you want to go somewhere super freezing cold, or do you want to go somewhere hot? That's the other problem, right? Is like for me to do Reykjavik, that's cold.
But the sights.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, but the sex. Like,
Well,
sure.
find yourself a guy to keep
Yeah.
you warm. You know.
I would go. You know what? After this is bad podcast to do because after quarantine, after COVID, I would just take anywhere. Honestly, do you have anything coming up? Any plans?
For traveling.
Yeah.
I don't have anything planned.
pipe?
I mean, not anything outside of Canada. I know some friends and one of my friends, she's a really big fan of Justin Bieber, and he's going to be on tour, I think, next September.
Yeah.
So we've talked about doing like a little road trip
Yeah.
out there to see him. But in terms of outside of Canada, I would love to go down south again, which I
Yeah.
never thought I would say, but going there the first time, it was a lot of fun.
And I find like those resorts and stuff are pretty safe right now.
They're
anyways.
safe. You're safe on the resort, and it's just easy. You pay for the package, and you don't have to worry about
I
food
know,
or
I
drinks. It's
know.
just unlimited. It's just whatever you want. It's a true stress-free vacation.
Yeah, and that's the other problem too. Is I find when you're like on a resort or on a cruise, it's stress free. Whereas if I'm like going through Europe,
You get stressed
you
trying
know,
to see everything.
you're just trying to like plan everything. You're trying
Yeah.
to figure out like my biggest thing is when I was looking at a trip for next year, I was thinking like Italy. I would love to do Italy. But then I'm like, oh, I'm so close to this country and I'm so close to that country. And like I could just zip over
Yeah.
to. So it's
Yeah.
hard to know exactly where you want to go because. But at the same time, I don't want to go there for 2 hours. Like I want to actually enjoy the country. So, hard to say. Who's to say where we're gonna go next?
I know. I mean, we're looking at the fourth wave probably.
I mean,
So I might be just doing a trip
I
to
know.
the kitchen and
I know that like I was thinking when the U.S. opens up because we are Canadian, I was gonna zip down to Maine for a couple nights, just myself, get an Airbnb, just cause some me time. Sounds dirty.
it's important though.
Just like read a book, just chill.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if that's gonna happen because of everything
Yeah.
that's going on in the world. So until then,
It'll happen. We'll
a
get
flirty
there.
can dream.
We'll get there. A flirty can dream.
A flirty can dream.
Ain't that pretty?
So that's that. And I would like from this podcast specifically, like, is there any takeaways? Like, no, none. Don't lose your phone.
Don't lose your phone. And make sure when your friend gives you an address, it's the correct one.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that was so awful.
So I was doing a little bit of researching for the podcast, and I came up with a list of some of the differences between traveling in your 20s and traveling in your 30s.
Okay.
So I have like a little bit of a top 5 that we can go
Okay.
through. The first one is money. So when you're in your 20s, you're just out of school or you're still in school. You're in debt. You're probably trying to find a job.
Yep.
So traveling is probably more limited. You probably can't, realistically plan like a full-out trip.
Right, because most people plan those trips when they get out of high school
But
before they go to
when
post-secondary.
you're in your 30s,
Yep.
hopefully you have like a stable job, a career,
Yep.
you're making decent money. You can really plan out a nice trip. You could go to Greece or the UK
Oh, for sure.
and plan it all out.
Yeah,
right?
and you're a little bit older. You're a little bit
older.
smarter. Yeah.
You can plan things out a little bit more.
That's a good one.
Oh, traveling alone. That's a
love
big one.
traveling
So
alone.
I know when I was in my 20s, the idea of traveling alone, anxiety inducing. Like I couldn't even fathom doing any kind of trip by myself. And now it's something that I think, and I have done it. Not anything huge, but you know, a couple years ago, I'm gonna bring her up again, but Ariana Grande was on tour.
Yep. Oh, that's
And
right.
I've seen her twice. The first time I had a friend who lived in Toronto.
Yep.
So I flew up there. We saw her together. But a couple of years ago on the next tour, I didn't have any more friends that lived in Toronto.
This was right before Joey and I met, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. We weren't friends yet.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
What a blessed time in my life.
Okay.
But I had no friends who would go with me. No friends that liked her enough to spend the money.
Of course.
So I was like, I guess I just won't go. And then I just randomly thought, fuck it. Like I can get a flight. I can get myself an Airbnb and a ticket, and I can go there by myself. And you know what? I went there by myself.
I love that.
And you know what? Me and little Annie and little Lucy and little Sarah, who are right beside me, had a whole lot of fun, and their mother. It was a great time.
I love that though. It was a great time. You're happy you went.
It was a great time. And I went by myself. I just, I walked around the city. I did lunch, did supper.
Yeah.
It was only for 2 nights, I think. It wasn't
But still,
a major
I love
trip.
that. Like traveling alone is so important.
But it was nice. But I think, I know for me, like in your 20s, it's not something that you probably would
See,
think
I'm
to
the
do.
opposite. When I moved out of the house.
Okay, just take my ferry and...
When I moved out of the house when I was 17, so pretty independent from a young age. So in my 20s, like I was flying down to Florida by myself. I just did a road trip not that long ago, like an 18-hour road trip by myself.
That was by yourself,
And everybody that I talked to is like, oh my gosh, Brittany, like anything could happen. You could break down on the side of the road. You could, somebody could steal you. And like my philosophy that I'm trying to live by in my 20s, 30s, and going forward is like, I don't want to be afraid of the world.
Yeah.
And so I was never, and I mean, yes, I did some stupid shit when I was 20. I remember being downtown where I went to university and be barefoot at 3:00 in the morning, singing at the top of my lungs, drunk. Yeah. And like, that's probably not a smart decision when you're a 20-something young girl in a big city. And I'd be up with my mom on the phone and she'd be freaking out on the other line. So like,
shout out to Donna.
I did stupid shit like that. But as far as and to be fair, like I would never change those experiences for anything because I think they shaped me to the traveler I am today. But I know a lot of people are a lot more confident traveling.
And another thing too, I find like if you're going on a trip by yourself, I think you tend to find like-minded people on that same trip. Like if you do like say a bus trip or a scenic type trip in the UK, you're by yourself, but you're probably meeting other people on that trip.
Gosh, especially if you're outgoing.
An old friend of mine did a UK trip primarily by herself. And the first hostel that she stayed at, she met a bunch of Australian girls, and they became good friends, and they spent a couple days together.
See?
Yeah, like you just meet like-minded people. So yeah, you don't always have to depend on someone going with you. If you want to go somewhere, just go.
Yeah, and
just do it.
You'll know this, Joey. Like my philosophy anytime is like, what's the worst that could happen? Like let's say you're traveling and something goes wildly wrong. Open your phone and book another flight.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that could go wildly wrong if you're being smart.
Yeah.
That would like completely change the trajectory of how you travel. And I think that's a really good philosophy to have, but you wouldn't necessarily have that in your 20s. Yeah. So that is an interesting point. What else you got? Anything else juicy?
I think traveling time, this might even be a positive for in your 20s, but traveling can be a little bit more limited when you're in your 30s.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Because
with time off work.
Yeah, when you've got crazy jobs, or not even work, but just family obligations. If you now have kids, or when the older you get, the more friends have weddings that you have to take time off for. So
your time gets eaten up by other people's activities.
Your time, your trips that you want to plan in your 30s are probably your bucket list trips, or things that you really need to set some set aside time for.
Which freaked me out. I don't want bucket list trips at this age.
Maybe in your 20s, you're just doing more sporadic trips for the fun of it.
That's what I want.
Well, you can do whatever you want.
No, you're right, though. You're right. It's like your time gets eaten up by other activities. Yeah, I've never thought about that, but yeah, it does. And I feel like, yeah, you're right, with the limited vacation schedules and stuff, is like, how do you take 3 weeks off to go backpacking across Western Europe?
Sorry, what?
Mount Tibidahu.
Mount Tibidahu.
Tibidabdo?
I don't know. That's a Friends reference. And then another one, too, and this is something that I think is important. I know for me, if I'm planning like an actual trip with sightseeing involved, I get very stressed. Stressed that I'm not seeing enough, stressed that of time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a coworker of ours, she said to me one time that when she goes on trips, because she's done the UK and stuff, she always plans rest. She calls like rest or leisure days. So if you're gone for a week, you know, you got your days booked where you're seeing certain things, but take a day so you can just leisurely walk around the city or walk around
and
the
just
village.
Enjoy some of the cuisine.
Go cafes, parks, you know, just chill, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's important too. And I think that's something that me and the older you get, the more tired you get easily. Yeah. So you might need some of those days just to recoup and
I think to that point, now that I'm thinking about it, I've been to New York City, and the first time I went was in my 20s, and I didn't get to see Central Park. I didn't see the Statue of, like, all the key places. See Statue of Liberty. I didn't even get to see the library where Carrie Bradshaw was going to get married.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't do any of that stuff. I was there on a trip with, like, for, like, university, like a school trip. And I didn't get to do any of that. But I did get to Fifth Avenue.
Yes.
Got to Chanel. Like, did all, like, the...
Saks Fifth?
Yeah. Like, I did all, like, the fancy, you know, went to Juicy Couture, went to Canal Street. Like, did all that kind of stuff. But, like, my mindset has changed so much 10 years later. Now I'm in my 30s. I don't care to do that stuff. I would love to go to Central Park and read a book, or I'd love to. So traveling the same places, 20s versus 30s would be interesting. Yeah. Because your whole idea of a vacation changes. Yeah.
And can I just end with another quick little story? Because you said it in New York City reminded me of so when we went to New York City, was this the first or second time? It was just me and my friends. And, you know, like Chinatown, right? Yeah. And I really wanted a Louis Vuitton wallet.
Oh, gosh.
Like, that's really what I wanted. I didn't care if it was fake or real. I just didn't care. I just wanted one. So we went through Chinatown. And I remember, like, a girl working there out of the van. They have all the wallets and purses and stuff in the vans. And she was like, oh, come on in. And I remember one of my friends who's more cautious was like, no, we can't go in there. But like me and like my friend Katie, and I think it was my friend Jeff, we're just like, woo! Like we just went right in that van. And she like closed the door and we're like looking through and stuff. And then all of a sudden, like there's a guy, it must have been her husband, who was sitting in the driver's seat. Right. And all of a sudden we could hear sirens. And they're talking in Asian, like Chinese back and forth. Yeah. And like panicking and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, we're going to get kidnapped. And they like literally, she throws open the door and like pushes us out into the street and woo, just takes off.
Did you get your wallet?
No, I didn't even pickpocket the wallet. I just like, no.
You didn't get a chance to.
The next year when I went,
you got
my boyfriend heckled with a guy in Chinatown and got me the wallet, which that was 11 years ago, and I literally just replaced it. Like I've been using
Joeigh?
It with a Coach wallet that my best friend Mallory got me for my birthday.
Brittany got it for your birthday. And you know what's funny is the same thing happened to me on Canal Street. Is like you know the little tiny like side pocket of New York City where you like slink in and get all those like
slinky,
like the Grinch. You slink in. That's a scary story. Man, your stories are your stories are anxiety driven. They're scary. Well, that you have.
Oh, my story was scary. Yeah, I almost got kidnapped. By a cute little Asian woman.
So what was it about me?
I got kidnapped. So
why'd you choose me?
What do you like about me? Me and my red jasmine outfit.
Oh, a little reference to a Disney movie there. A Disney pick.
It's about time.
Well, that's good. Well, that was a good,
I think that was a good little chat about all of our traveling mishaps, birds on balconies.
Yes. Feel free to email us at 30kindoflirtypodcast@gmail.com with any kind of, topics or funny stories that you've had. Or
maybe we'll share them.
Like let's talk about it. And
what's our Instagram again?
What do you mean? mean?
You got to plug the Instagram, Brit.
30 Kind of Flirty podcast.
There you go.
And there's a new episode uploaded on all the platforms, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts every Thursday. We don't know what time yet. We're just going to kind of run with it.
We're hoping that when you wake up Thursday morning, it's there.
Yeah.
So that when you're getting ready for work, you're doing your commute, you have your besties, Joeigh and Brit.
Your flirties.
Just gossiping and gabbing away.
And there's no rhyme or reason. Like I said, this whole podcast, like we have been saying, is just about getting through your 30s. And honestly, we're not super tech savvy. So
No.
I'm going to say it'll be uploaded when it's uploaded. But there is a publisher that will do it for us.
But it definitely will be Thursday.
It will.
Yeah.
It will. And we'll see you then.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.